Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I simply can't believe that everybody in the chat room right now wanted me to record this video. I even put it up to a vote, and an overwhelming majority of the people here, and I think they're pretty representative of the crowd that typically follows me, wanted me to talk a little bit about politics, and specifically this old fart from Texas, Ron Paul. And guys, admit it. Even if you support the guy, he is, by definition, an old fart. So, why do I love this old fart? It's a really good question. No, I'm not going to run for president. Thank you very much. There's enough people that hate me as it is. No, to be serious for a moment. I believe in a lot of things, and I am many things, but I don't label myself conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. I'm an American. I'm a geek. I'm a technologist, but I'm an American. So I have the right to speak my mind, as do you all. And here's the thing. I don't care who you vote for. I really don't. I don't. I care that you vote, and I care that you think about who you're voting for and why you're voting for them. But I don't care who you vote for. I really don't. Ultimately, if a leading candidate gets elected in office, it doesn't matter. Number one, president is only, in theory, only one branch of the government. And even then is controlled by purse strings. You see, America isn't run by politicians so much as it's run by the people who put those politicians in office. And those people aren't you and me. It's the people who pay for them. Corporations, companies, all the money trail. Trust me, these politicians don't care about you. They only want your vote, and even that is questionable. Voter fraud is rampant, and it's only getting worse because the source code is private. We don't have a chance to look at it to make sure that it's completely flawless. Now, if the political process was more like, let's say, Linux, I think we'd have a lot more people interested in the entire process. Now, I grew up in Iowa, so I'm no stranger to politics. But, I really wasn't that interested in, really everything that was going on inside the political realm, because it felt largely out of my hands. And it felt like it didn't matter who I voted for. Ultimately, it's the same person. When you have candidates who are funded by companies who fund the candidate's competitor as well, that's messed up. That isn't even a two-party system anymore. It's a one-party system. And that one party is the person or company, corporation, who has the money. Follow the money trail. It's not a conspiracy theory. Special interest groups rule this country. Period. End of story. And even if you vote for someone who is financed by a corporation, you can't debate that. You just can't. And you might argue, well, they got to get their money from somewhere. How about from citizens? That novel concept. Gosh, imagine that. Citizens being excited enough about a candidate to support them rather than just letting someone else pay their way to wherever their office happens to be. So I automatically dismiss any candidate that has taken a majority of their funds and has pandered specifically to corporations. That's the game of politics. But you know what? The internet has destroyed a lot of institutions, at least in America. Look what's happened with television, magazines, newspapers. Some might even say the movies, the music industry. We're destroying them, man. And it's not just the geeks. Everybody uses the internet, right? Everybody. Not just the geeks. Except for old farts. I don't even think Ron Paul knew what The Daily Show was before I think he had the interview on it. I'm not making fun of Ron Paul. It's a term of endearment. I'm just trying to be realistic about this thing. I want to see more people, whether you're American or not, apply critical thinking skills. understanding that you are a slave. You're a slave, that your money is not printed by the government. It's printed by a bank, a central bank. The Federal Reserve is no more federal than FedEx. You're not making decisions. You're not in control. Other people are. But here's the thing. You have a chance to be in control. If you want to be in control. But to do that, you have to stop outsourcing your thinking. You have to stop that. You have to knock it off. You have to start getting your information from a variety of sources, not just one. I mean, you never hear me ever say, just watch me when I talk about technology or talk about things because I'm the only person you need to listen to. That's stupid. That's stupid. And it's equally as stupid to think that any one news station or any one newspaper or magazine or radio station or radio show is going to give you everything that you need. And you know what? If you only listen to the people that you agree with, there's something really wrong with you. Because you have to open your mind. You have to look at other perspectives to gain perspective. It's how you grow as a human being. You challenge your convictions. So, yeah, Ron Paul. I mean, I was enamored by him months ago. I talked about it for a while and then kind of backed off because I realized it was a personal, topic. Politics is personal, and I didn't want to offend anybody. And I know I'm going to offend people, but like I said in the beginning, I don't care who you vote for as long as you vote, as long as you think about who you're voting for, and you vote your conscience. If you vote for someone because you think they can win, or because you only want to back someone who won't lose, and I realize those two examples are really the same. I think you get what I'm saying. If you're only backing a horse because you think that horse has the best chance of winning, you're not doing this country any favors, you're not doing yourself a favor, and you're not doing me a favor. That really upsets me. You vote for someone, you give someone your support because you believe in them. You believe in what they say, and you believe that what they're saying is right. Whatever that is. You don't back someone because you think they could win. You don't marry someone because you think that that's, there's a race going on. Okay, so it's a bad example. You marry someone because you love that person. You believe in them. You vote for someone because you believe in them. And you know that they're not controlled by someone else's purse strings. And if they're controlled by anybody's purse strings, they should be your purse strings. Don't make this a blue or red issue, because it's not. It's an American issue. Sorry, Democrats and Republicans are all the same, because they're controlled by the same people. Conspiracy theory, whatever. I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. I'm not. I mean, interesting to talk about, certainly. But I'm really only interested in talking about what has happened in the past. Now, I'm not preaching. I'm just saying, it just upsets me when I hear people spit back propaganda, whether it's liberal or conservative propaganda. Because, believe me, it comes from both sides. I just get sick of it. That's, one of the reasons why I turn to a lot of independent sources on the internet to get my information. Every source is biased. I'm biased. We're all biased. Get over it. Just think about what you're doing. That's all I ask. Critical thinking. Don't outsource your thinking. And that's that. I think that's why I have a healthy respect for Ron Paul. Even though this is going to freak you out, I don't agree with him. Huh? I don't agree with him on 100. The dude is like he's very religious. I don't like that. That kind of it creeps me out, right? But you ever notice how his voting record? Well, imagine that. His experience speaks more about him than his personal preferences. His voting record. Look at his voting record. Look at why he makes the decisions and why he's voted a certain way and why it's been consistent. That is unheard of. And that gets my respect. And that is why, for the first time in my life, since I became a voting member of society, a citizen, with every privilege afforded to me under the U.S. Constitution. That is why Ron Paul received the first contribution I have ever made to a political candidate ever. That's why. There's a lot of reasons. And it's not because of blind faith. And maybe it's because I'm a radical. I don't know. Or maybe it's just I'm tired of seeing politicians that are all the same. And that they speak in circles. And we all know it! That's the thing that just trips me out. You know you're getting lied to. And yet you walk right into it. Why? Because you don't want to back a loser. You want to back a winner. Well, then you got to start asking yourself, what makes a winner? You have to decide that for yourself. Don't outsource your thinking. Just do that for me, okay? That's all I ask. Support whoever. I mean, they've all got great ideas, but it takes more than just a great idea. I mean, imagine believing in something, in someone so strongly. It's not about trolls on the internet. I'm sure I think, what did Wonkette and Red State call them? Paul-tards are going to come out of the woodwork. And I love them. I love them all. I mean, don't mess with the system. You know, you don't want to annoy people with your beliefs. But, you know, I appreciate the fact that the internet has kind of come to the aid of Paul. And that's to me, that's just, it's neat. Because you just don't see that. You've never heard of it. Maybe, and I think we're seeing bits of it right now, right? Bits of it. Maybe the next election cycle, more will be determined by what you and me do as citizens of this global society known as the internet, where I have more in common with a guy who's listening to me live in Ireland than I do with my next door neighbor. That's the future. Now, I'm not saying, you'd say, well, but Ron Paul's all about sovereignty. Well, hey, you know what? We've got, at the base, we've got an amazing country with amazing potential, with amazing people. We do. And you know what? You spread that by example. You don't teach someone to love by hate. It's illogical, okay? It's illogical to think that way. You lead by example. Lead by example. And look for leaders at the local level, at the state level, at the federal level. Look for leaders who lead by example. Who say things and who are those things that they say. Whether they've made mistakes or not. You know what? We ain't perfect. None of us. None of us. No candidate is perfect. Even the one that you're backing. Not perfect. Not. And sometimes, maybe what you believe is right might not be. You believe it's right. I'm willing to say that, sometimes the things that I believe are right maybe aren't. But this is the dialogue, the condition. What we're seeing now is some wacky, just so amazingly different person has a shot, long shot, so long that it's just worth thinking about. I don't know. What do you think? I know I'm crazy. Anyway, I just want to say, exercise your right to vote. Register to vote. I just want to see you thinking. And I want to have an open dialogue. I don't want to get, this person's wrong and this person's wrong. You know what? We're all wrong. It's what's going to be best for this country and vicariously the rest of the world. We have to start leading by example. We really do. Be true to yourself. Be true to your friends. Be true to your family. Just be true. I know I've said a lot. It's a mouthful and everything, but I know it's like very personal, and I'm sure I'm getting lambasted. But I just want to say that I don't want to. I am a Ron Paul supporter. I've said it. I like other candidates as well, but that's the one. I don't care. You know what? I know enough, and I listen to enough, and I read enough just to know that that's strong. To me, that's very strong. So normally, if you've never seen me before, first of all, I'd love to interview Ron Paul. My friend Adam Curry interviewed him, and I know Adam Curry and I think very much alike. I'd love to interview Ron. I'd love to get him in the house and stream him live from my home office. Of course, I'm sure he's never going to see me. And I'm sure he's never going to talk to me after calling him an old fart. I tend to attract old farts for some reason. It's because we're interested in technology. Well, some of us are. I mean, Ron's not, but he's certainly using the internet. And there's a lot of reasons why, but you got to be careful when you read polls. I mean, everything can be bought and paid for. Everything. Candidates included. Be careful. So normally I have this website that I stream from, live.pirillo.com. You see a little link there. I don't really talk about politics all that much. Sometimes I talk about news of the day, but it's largely related to technology trends, cultural trends, software, hardware, whatnot. But I just had to get this off my chest. I was just kind of excited about it. I just kind of never did that before, and my first campaign contribution was by PayPal for the win. Anyway, so if you're a Ron Paul supporter, great. Glad to have you as a compatriot. I don't know what word is used. I'm glad to have you as a fellow Paul-tard. And I'm sorry if that word offends you, but I guess that's what some people have been labeled because they've done things that they probably shouldn't have been doing. It's exciting. The information that's being shared, just as long as it doesn't get ahead of us. Let's not freak out about this whole thing, okay? Let's just try to take a logical approach. Do what's best for the whole. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. If only more politicians would believe that, maybe this would be a better country. Maybe more people would care about voting. We'll see you later.